Hello, my lovely, as well. I just thought I had to mention the situation. If you haven't seen it, I did a video earlier today, posting it all that long ago actually, about my thoughts on the Southport situation. And in that, I said that what would happen is the situation would be managed. And the police with the Home Office and the local media would get together and start managing and controlling the narrative. That's what they do all the time. And anyone that breaks that narrative or goes against it, says anything against it, will be described by the Echo as far right. Now, I said this, didn't I? That they do work in conjunction with each other. Well, I just seen this from the Liverpool Echo, written by Lottie Gibbons. And it's on about Starmer's visiting Southport to lay flowers with the Chief Constable. And in the centre there, behind the Chief Constable, Keir Starmer, is Steve Rotherham, who I'll mention in a minute, the Mayor of Liverpool. I don't know, it's some kind of weird mayor he is. It's not actually a mayor in the sense that you think of one. Transport sister or something like that. Don't know who the woman is in the red, I haven't got a clue who she is. Anyway, Lottie tells you about his visit and his grand speech he gave, sympathising because he's the father, he can't imagine this horror and all this. And that's all it says. By reading this, you'd think it all went swimmingly well. It all went off well and people stood there in admiration of Keir Starmer's powerful words. The truth is, though, this is what happened.
Go away!
I just found out my friend's 9-year-old daughter was killed.
You're not wanted!
Scumbag! The person I've held as a child, and that poor girl got stabbed. Let me die.
I mean, they've just proven what I said in my previous video, right? They manage the narrative. And anyone that goes against that narrative speaks from a different songbook or has a different view will be labelled far right. Also, Southport is having a vigil. What did I say? There'd be vigils held. This is what happens. And those vigils will be carefully managed and orchestrated so only one message is coming out. This is how it happens. What you need to happen at these vigils is more like that, the heckling to go on. Because these people are doing nothing to keep not only children, adults in this country safe. And I'm not just talking about white British people, because they'll say that's a far right statement. I'm talking about everyone. I'm talking about brown people, black people in this country, refugees in this country, migrants in the country. All people need safeguarding against this kind of thing happening, and it's not. But as long as the narrative is allowed to take over, as long as this situation is managed by those in power in a way that they want, they'll still continue to ignore and do nothing. But what did I tell you about the Echo? And as for this fella in the middle, Steve Rotherham, he'll do anything for the photo opportunity. He's usually seen outside Liverpool FC, getting photographs where he's showing his sorrow for the 96, the Hillsborough 96. I told him years ago about what I was hearing in the Merseyside police about serious crimes against young boys, young latchkey kids, abandoned kids that didn't have a family they could rely on. How they were being used in the most disgusting way by people in power in this city. One of them including a solicitor who was called Rex Macon. He turned on me. He didn't listen, didn't want to know, turned right on me, as did the Police and Crime Commissioner at the time, his best mate, Jane Kennedy. And she blocked any investigation. She kept on blocking any advancement of it being looked into. That's what he did. Totally ignored it. wouldn't have anything to do with it. But now he's here for this photo opportunity. And when I just mentioned that he wouldn't listen when I said about Rex Macon. When Rex Macon passed away, guess who was at his funeral? Yes, you've guessed it. Mr. Steve Rotherham. And if ever you want to watch my interview I did a couple of years ago with Sean Atwood and Wildman, here, when I get onto the subject of Rex Macon and hear what Wildman says, it was known. Everyone knew what Rex Macon was getting up to. It was just getting the proof. And the Merseyside police were making sure that proof would never get out there. And to this day, they're still covering up this situation and ensuring that it doesn't get out. So there you go. But I'm so pleased that happened. It needs to happen. So many times these politicians, MPs, councillors, people in positions of power and authority that can make real change don't. They pussyfoot around things, they try to play it safe, and it usually ends up in a disaster. And when it does end up in a disaster, they know they're never going to have to go to prison for it. They're never going to be charged with negligence or mismanagement. What's going to happen is there'll be a very, very expensive inquiry, parliamentary inquiry, and the result will be we will learn lessons from this, and we all know it. That's the way the system works, and that's the way it will continue to work as long as people accept it working that way. People give up. They say, oh, well, that's the way things are. But when a Prime Minister or an MP, Minister, whatever, goes for a photo opportunity and you feel or know that they are responsible either for the situation or for enabling a situation to arise because they're not putting the effort in to prevent it, challenge them, call them out on the photo opportunity, don't let them have the photo opportunities. And places like the Echo, who are in with the narrative and making sure that people stick to that narrative, pull them for it and say, why haven't you reported the fact that there was a kick-off there where he was literally chased out Southport? You could see he got away very, very quickly. As for the people at Southport doing that, we all owe them a thanks because they're saying what needs to be said. And I hope somebody at the council where this vigil is going on in Southport speaks up as well, because that will be managed as well. I can assure you, that will be managed on this narrative. You just have to stop them letting the narrative. No one wants a narrative, they just want the truth. The truth. And they want a solution to ensure that what has gone horrifically wrong this time will not go wrong again, because action, serious action will be taken. Well, I'll leave it at that, my lovelies. Bye bye for now.